What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Man versus Gaming podcast. This is episode 2, and I am Hugh, which I forgot to express last time. Sorry, I'm new to this whole thing, but on Twitch, I'm known as ManVersusRage, and if you're listening to the audio version, you can come hang out with us every week. We'll be doing this podcast at twitch.tv/ManVersusRage. That's ManVersusRage. Make sure to come hang out. You can ask questions in chat. We can go over like what's happening in the gaming world together and have a good time. But anyways, today some of the stuff we're going to be going over. So we're going to be going over Remnant from the Ashes and why I think it is a very just under the radar game that looks fucking amazing. We're going to further expand on the Path of Exile update, specifically the melee stuff that we talked about last week. We're going to go over some stuff what I think about World War Z, which comes out today. We'll go over the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and what I think about that. And we'll wrap things up with the just talking about the Nintendo Switch VR and my thoughts on that as well. Get this set up differently. Yeah, that's a lot better. All right, so just to get a few things out of the way for people out there, there are many games coming out within the next week. Just some to kind of throw out there. Final Fantasy X and X HD Remaster is coming to the Xbox One and Switch. I believe that comes out today. Let's see what else. Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions comes out for the Switch today. World War Z comes out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One today. See anything else that may look interesting? Mortal Kombat, but that is like next podcast material. Also, for everybody who is on the PlayStation, you can finally change your name on the PlayStation. Took them that long to get this to be a thing. Yeah. And then it's kind of risky to even do it because if you do, there is a possibility that you can't even access some of your games, which I think is fucking weird, dude. There was something a little, this really wasn't planned. Something I wanted to talk about, like I seen on this thing, Dauntless. It's supposed to come to the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch sometime this month. That game is pretty cool. I put a little time in it. It's like, the best way I could describe it, it's like a more laid back Monster Hunter in a way. You go out and you get sent on the missions, and I'm not sure if they've changed it, but the last time I played it, you only went after the big monster. Like there weren't little monsters and stuff that you had to fight. You strictly went after the big guy, and then you come back and you can use the materials to craft your weapons and armor and stuff like that. It seemed pretty cool, and if it comes to like console, we'll probably play it more. Because, you know, my PC isn't the best PC and I really can't stream stuff off of there that well. But, moving on. So, Remnant from the Ashes is a game that I just, like, randomly came across last week. when I was on YouTube, and I watched a video on it. It was like a boss fight. I was like, man, this freaking looks cool, dude. So I was like, I'll look more into it, and they actually had like a 48-minute like podcast thing they did from like PAX West, I believe. The only thing is it's older, so it might not be as up to date as some of the new stuff. They don't really have a lot of video out for the game. But essentially, I'm just going to read off kind of like the Steam description, and we will talk about it kind of as we go. It says, Remnant from the Ashes is a third-person survival action shooter set in a post-apocalyptic world overrun by monstrous creatures. As one of the last remnants of humanity, you'll set out alone or alongside up to 2 other players to face down hordes of deadly enemies and epic bosses. You try to carve a foothold, rebuild, and then retake what was lost. So, essentially, like, if I'm not mistaken, this monstrous group called the Root, I believe, have taken over Earth, and essentially you are trying to go through these portals and take Earth back, from what I have seen of it. So yeah, trying to okay, so yes, Earth, and then the enemies are not fucking showing me. It's just being weird. Oh, it has a tab right here. Yes, the enemies are the Root. But the thing is, like, so there are these portals that you go through, essentially, and they lead you to different, like, worlds. So on Earth, you'll be fighting the Root. But they also have another world already called Yasha. And the enemies there are called the Pan. And they're like these more goat-based enemies, I guess you would say. But that world is like it's like a jungle. They're gonna have 2 more when the game comes out. So they'll have 4 worlds, and they'll have different textures and stuff to the worlds. And it says there'll be a swamp and a wasteland. We'll find out about those eventually. But okay, going forward, the world has been thrown into chaos by an ancient evil from another dimension. Humanity is struggling to survive, but they possess the technology to open portals to other realms and alternate realities. You must travel through these portals to uncover the mystery of where the evil came from, scavenge resources to stay alive, and fight back to carve out a foothold for mankind to rebuild. So yeah, that just further extends on that. You pretty much go through these portals. The cool thing is, like, everything is procedurally generated, like enemy placement and map layout. So there's a chance that you will never see the same thing again in this game, which is pretty cool. I believe the game is going to launch with 100 different enemy types, which I take it they'll probably have 25 different enemy types per level. Maybe we'll just have to see. And it'll launch with 20 plus bosses, which I'm taking will probably be 5 per like planet. But all right, moving on. Explore dynamically generated worlds that change each time you play through them, creating new maps, enemy encounters, quest opportunities, and in-world events. Each of the game's 4 unique worlds is filled with monstrous denizens and environments that will provide fresh challenges with each playthrough. Adapt and explore or die trying. So, not only coming from this, not only are you going to be playing in a game where the map is changed and the enemy placement is changed, but they'll also have in-world events that, you know, sometimes will pop up in these places, so you'll never know. New quests that will pop up, which is awesome, because, you know, you could be, you know, in the game, from what this sounds like, you could be in the game forever, and, you know, you think you run out of stuff to do, and bam, a new quest pops up that you can go do. But going forward, overcome tough as nails enemies and epic bosses throughout hostile environments to earn experience, valuable loot, and upgrade materials you can use to build a wicked arsenal of weapons, armor, and modifications to approach each encounter dozens of unique ways. So whenever you go into these worlds, not only will you be, because I believe they said the campaign is like maybe 15 to 16 hours. Then after that, you just kind of, and even the campaign is procedurally generated. It has set pieces, I believe they said, but some of it is procedurally generated. So you and another player might not even have the same campaign experience, which is pretty cool. But you will fight these enemies and bosses to get materials to craft new weapons, new armor, and also upgrade your weapons and armor. Like if you find something you like. Something cool that I read is they're trying to take they don't classify themselves as a looter shooter, but it's somewhat what it is. And what they are trying to do is make this more of a, you don't have to go hard in the paint on this game to keep up with everybody. You can play it at your own pace. It's supposed to be more casual, but it is supposed to be hard. It's supposed to have like some like Souls elements in it, but it's supposed to be more casual. You can jump in when you want to, and you don't have to worry about, you know, keeping up with everybody and stuff like that. That's kind of what they're trying to do. They say like they want every gun to feel like a legendary gun like in other games. I think that's pretty cool. And the last piece that they had on there was strength in numbers. Invading other worlds to seek an end to the root is dangerous, and survival is far from guaranteed. Team up with 2 other players to increase your chances of survival. Teamwork is necessary to make it through the game's toughest challenges and unlock its greatest rewards. So you can play with 2 other friends. That's pretty cool. I know some people are reporting that it is 4 players instead of 3-player co-op, which it was initially designed to be 4-player co-op, but they said like with all the tweaking they did, they couldn't find a way to balance it as good as they could with 3 players, so they knocked it down to 3 players. So kind of what I've seen from this game, it looks awesome. It looks like a game that I've always wanted that I never knew I wanted. I know I say that a lot but it really is like, it looks amazing. Like I really want to push this game out there as much as I can, because I want to, as cool as it looks, not to mention it's only going to come in at a $40 price tag. It's made by Gunfire Games. They're the people who made Darksiders 3, which is, some of their team worked on Darksiders 1 and 2. From what I have seen, I've never really been a Darksiders fan, but they kind of like team split, and some of them made Gunfire Games to continue to work on those. But it's going to come in at a $40 price tag, which is just, for the way this game looks to me, it's pretty cool. There are a few concerns I have. It's more going to be on like it seems like it's going to be replayable, but how replayable is it going to be? Because I want to sink some time into this game. I wish I could do it now. Just so everybody knows, it comes out on August the 20th. So it's a little over 4 months away, I believe. Like 4 days. But it looks awesome, dude. It looks like something that's going to be cool to play with your friends. From what I've seen from the PAX West gameplay, in areas it does look like it can be a little slow, which I don't think is a bad thing, but I hope they have like enemies that kind of keep you on your toes too. I'm pretty sure like the swamp area and the wasteland area are going to have their own enemy factions as well. And also hope that they actually expand on the game, which if there's enough replayability, I guess it's cool if they don't. But I hope they actually stick to this game and support it. It looks awesome, though. It looks awesome, dude. It kind of reminds me of, like, Monster Hunter in a way. Because you kind of gotta beat these bosses, and they're fucking like, I'd say they're tough per se, but also speaking of bosses, something else I forgot to mention: the bosses will have different modifiers each time you fight them. So you could, like in the PAX West demo, they showed off like this, like a root boss that was like a dragon, and the way they kind of talked about it was like sometimes you might go in there and he might have a buff that will continuously heal him, so you gotta continuously keep firing at him to keep him from healing, or he might have extra damage to his ranged attacks and stuff like that. So you'll go in there and they'll have different modifiers, so even whenever you fight the same bosses, you might not be fighting them in the same way each time, which is pretty cool. And they also said that you have to have different ways you can kill these bosses to get unique materials. They have special crafty materials and weapons and armor that you can only get in certain places, certain ways throughout the world that are hidden. And but essentially you'll be in like this hub world, and that's how you'll get to these different locations. The cool thing, like the thing I find the most cool about this is just that it's supposed to be procedurally generated. It's supposed to have so many things that are just, I wouldn't particularly say random, because procedurally means that they kind of have set pieces that are put together, but I just think it's going to be awesome. You guys look out for the game. Go check it out. They have videos on YouTube. It is called Remnant from the Ashes. Like I said, I'm going to be putting a lot of faith in this game, honestly, and it's the first game in a long time that's got me excited. And I want to try to grow a community around it even before the game starts. So if you want to talk about it, join my Discord. I have a Discord. It is ManVersusRage. That is M-A-R. Can't even fucking spell today. ManVersusRage. And yeah, come join and we can get hype about the game, because I would love to do that with some people. But all right, moving on from Remnant, we're going to go into Path of Exile. So, the people over at Grinding Gear Games, I believe is what they're called. Oh, they have like a very strange name to me. They put out a post on Twitter the other day talking about what they're going to do with the melee, because they said that they were going to expand on it in the 3.7.0 expansion. And this is what they said. We have indicated that the June 3.7.0 expansion contains a similar rebalance of melee skills. While we certainly do intend to numerically adjust them to make sure they're viable, the actual scope of melee changes planned is a lot larger than we have indicated so far. Players from other action RPGs have occasionally criticized Path of Exile's melee combat for being clunky, especially early on before players get a lot of attack speed. We are making various experimental changes to the animation system that should help resolve these concerns and really tighten up the feel of melee combat. In addition to animation system improvements and melee skill rebalance, we are experimenting with changes to systems such as accuracy, melee splash, leech, fortify, various ascendancy classes, the passive tree, hit/miss feedback, melee base types, movement skills, and melee damage availability on items. Dude. Like, I was talking about last week about how, like, it felt like you would miss a lot, and obviously this was not even just a problem on PS4. Like I said, I've never played it on PC. I played it whenever it came out on the PlayStation, and they seem to be fixing, like, the one big issue I have with melee, and that is it feels like when you swing at something, sometimes even whenever it looks like you're going to hit them, you don't. And I don't know why. That's the reason I kind of went into more of poison based on my rogue character, because I just didn't feel the melee was as good. But once this gets tightened up and fixed, it seems like it will be a lot better, man. And I'm really happy that they are doing this to the game. Like, supposedly they worked on magic. Like I said last week, I didn't really know what they were going to be doing with the melee or what they meant by it. Like I said, I was having that problem, but I guess many people have too. But to get that fixed would definitely make me want to try more of a melee class. But that definitely has to be fixed first, because it's just really annoying when you go to swing your dagger or sword or whatever you use at someone and at an enemy, and just it goes right towards them, but you don't hit them. It's frustrating, man. All right. So moving forward, let's talk about World War Z. So that's a game that comes out today. It is April the 16th. So I checked I went and watched some videos because I wanted to check the game out so I could talk about it for you guys on the podcast, for anyone who's actually interested in it. And what it kind of seems like is that the game is a class-based kind of horde like a zombie horde campaign. See, I don't really know much about the books or the movie. I've never read the book. I've never watched the movie, so I kind of went into checking this out blind, I guess you would say. So let's go over the classes, and then I'll talk about the gameplay a little bit and just give my thoughts on it. So the game is going to have 6 classes. I'm pretty sure games like this, they bring more in later on. But it will have the Gunslinger, the Hellraiser, the Medic, the Fixer, the Slasher, and the Exterminator. Like I said, I've watched a little gameplay, not much. But the Gunslinger, we'll kind of go over the class too. So you have the Gunslinger. It's kind of essentially what you would think it would be. He starts with a submachine gun and frag grenade. Let's see. So this article states the best skills too, which has rage mode. When pinned down by a zombie, automatically get back up and push your attacker back. Okay. So you're essentially like, yeah, just an infantry soldier. Okay, you have the Hellraiser. Let's see, the Hellraiser comes equipped with packs of C4 explosives that can tear through crowds of zombies and gives your group a bit of breathing room. So you're kind of like, because I've seen this, like I've watched some of this gameplay, and like you have fucking huge hordes coming at you sometimes, like really fucking big. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, if you've seen like the Days Gone trailer, it's like that sometimes, like even worse it seems. But you're starting loadout as a Hellraiser. You start with a shotgun, C4, and a Hellstorm multiple grenade launcher. And their best skill is Direct Blast, which deals 100% more damage to all zombies with all explosions. Explosives, my bad. All right, coming up next, you have the Medic, which is pretty self-explanatory. You're going to be healing your team, healing yourself. So you start with a compact SMG, a stem pistol, and free med kit. And whenever you use the med kit on a teammate, you will grant 25% health. 25% health too if you need it. It will grant you 25% health too if you need it. Oh God, reading is hard today, chat. Well, guys, see. Okay, so I'm a streamer. If you're listening to the audio version, I'm sorry if I say chat. It's just kind of a habit. The best skill for the medic is Good Karma, and is using a med kit on a teammate will apply 50% of its effects. 50% of its effects to you as well. So it just ups the healing to yourself when you use a med kit on a teammate. Next up, we have the Fixer. It's another support class, and this one is based more around supplying ammo to your teammates. You get a supply bag that allows your squad to get more ammo for their weapons, as well as coming with a secondary skill set that enables you to pick up teammates for certain perks. Okay, so you start a loadout, you get a scout rifle and a supply bag, and it increases your ammo capacity by 10%. Well, actually, all of your teammates get a 10% boost to their ammo capacity for primary and secondary weapons. So you're going to be essentially running around trying to get bullets to people when they're fucking dying. When they're running low, you're going to be there to give them some bullets. That seems pretty cool. Their best skill is Please Stand Up. If everyone in your team is incapacitated or pinned down, the Fixer will be able to stand up. Okay, so that sounds like a must-have. Like, if you're going to play this game, like I said, I haven't really seen much on it, but if you're going to play this game, it seems like the Fixer is like a must-have for your team. Because if all of you go down, the Fixer could stand back up, which is awesome. Alright, so moving on, we have the Slasher. Sounds like my preferred class in the game if I were to ever play. If melee is your type of game, the Slasher is a class you'll want to pick. Hack and slash your way through your foes with a number of melee-based buffs and your trusted machete. If you aren't afraid to wade into the action and take zombies down in front of you, you may be inclined to pick the Slasher class. So starter loadout. You start with a compact SMG, stun grenade. No, stun gun. Not grenade. A gun. Melee attacks hurt 2 enemies instead of 1 and can perform multiple melee strikes before tiring. So you're going to be in the shit if you're this class. Which just seems absolutely crazy to me that if you would even want to play this class in this game, just for the sheer amount of enemies you have coming at you at once, seems ridiculous. Let's see. Their best skill is Trophy Hunter. You deal 25% more damage to special zombies. So whenever you're out there wielding a machete and you want to take on those bigger boys, you're going to be doing a little more damage. And we're going to move on to, I believe, the last class, the Exterminator. So the final class choice for the arsonist among you, if you're like playing with literal fire, there are no, Exterminator's brand of fire-based damage is right up your street. So it says armed with Molotovs and Claymores, the Exterminator can rip through zombies with some well-placed explosives. So you start a loadout with him or her. I'm not sure how this game works, if it's set to characters or not. But you start off with a shotgun and Molotovs, and you deal 25% more damage to hordes during swarm attacks. So I'm taking it like whenever you have a shit ton of zombies running at you, you're going to want this guy because he could throw out some Molotovs and he can do a lot more damage. And his best skill, and also with he comes with a shotgun. So this is like more of a up close and personal kind of person too. Like you want to be up in their face, hitting them with that shotgun. I guess not right up in their face, but you're not going to be like as close as the slasher per se, but still going to want to be pretty close, trying to get some shotgun shots. And when you're not, be throwing your claymores and your Molotovs out, trying to just blow everything to pieces. The best skill for the Exterminator is Fire Trap. Claymore explosions set fire to surrounding area, but must start missions with Claymores. Okay, so if you don't start with Claymores, I guess you don't get this skill. If you do, whenever they blow up, they set fire to surrounding stuff, which could essentially spread out the damage more. So that's all the classes in World War Z. I watched a few trailers, and it looks, just my thoughts on the gameplay, it looks pretty fluid for like this kind of game. It looks like every class, like the reloads in this game are super fast, which look pretty cool because you essentially have like tons and tons and tons of zombies coming at you at once in this game. So like if you have a shotgun, you're just trying to slowly put shells into it. It just doesn't seem like it would work with this type of game. So they kind of do it pretty fast, and it's pretty cool how fast they reload, and it keeps you in the action, and it just seems really fast paced. Like I watched a scene where like they're in this snowy area and there's like a big dam in the background, and it is just like the top is just covered with hundreds and thousands of zombies. And like I'm sitting here like all of these zombies aren't going to come towards them, right? And they actually start fucking falling down the dam, jumping over fences. You have like shit tons of zombies coming at the players. And I was like, what the heck? How are you even supposed to deal with all of this? You got people on like turrets, and it looks like a pretty fun game though. If you like stuff like Left 4 Dead and things of that nature, I really think this is the game. This is a game that you would enjoy, and I would at least go check it out. I would at least go check it out and see what you think about it. Because I said it looks fun. I don't know if I will particularly get into it. But like I said, if you enjoy things like Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2, anything of that nature, check this game out. It will probably be right up your alley. All right. So moving on. We'll talk about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. All right, so anyone who knows me knows that I like Star Wars. I'm not like a big fan like some people are. Like, I haven't seen every movie. I don't think it's I just don't like it as much as people, but I enjoy it. It is really good. And it's been a long time since this franchise has had a good game. So Battlefront, so I played Battlefront 1, not the original Battlefront 1. Oh, EA shit Battlefront 1. And it was horrible. Like, I heard towards the end they actually made it a lot better, but at launch it was freaking bad, dude. Battlefront 2, everybody knows what happened with that, dude. It failed. It was a massive failure. They were trying to make you put like hundreds and hundreds of dollars in microtransactions just to get playable characters. And so they almost came close, EA, to not even having the rights to it anymore from what I've heard. So that leads us to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So they haven't shown any gameplay, but they showed off a story trailer. And the story trailer looked pretty good. It looked awesome. It doesn't really give us much context to the game, but if you want to go check it out, check it out. I just want to kind of voice my concerns. I'm not particularly happy with EA right now and everything that they've kind of done. My only hope is, okay, that Respawn is making it. Titanfall 2 was pretty good. Apex is knocking it out of the park right now. I could just hope and pray that they give them the freedom they need to make this game good. They say there's going to be no microtransactions. I believe that there won't be no multiplayer, but I just can't. Yeah, it's no multiplayer, no microtransactions. I don't know, dude. I don't know if I buy it. Like I could understand no multiplayer. Like, I think that they will actually do that, but it being EA, if it does not sell as good as they think it will, they have a bad track record with microtransactions. Bought Bloodborne, didn't you? The Last of Us. Yeah, I have both of those games, Suicide. But I'm just saying, like, I don't care if they add a multiplayer. It's just I don't know, dude. EA is on a tightrope with me. Those people weren't. Those people weren't constantly screwing people over game after game. Like, I just spent $60 on a game that they can't even fix and was excited about. Like, that's like, I'm talking about Anthem. Like, let's talk about Anthem and Battlefront 2 and just the continuous Battlefield 5 and the continuous slew of games that keep coming out that they're screwing people over on. Like, sure, which I didn't even know that about The Last of Us. Bloodborne, you knew was going to have multiplayer. It's a Souls game, essentially. So everybody knew it was going to, but I didn't know that about those games. But I don't care about those companies because they don't constantly screw people over. Like, EA has been screwing people over here recently. Like, horribly, and it's not cool to me. I just think they could do a lot better job of, you know, trying to keep everything intact. That's my only problem with it. I hope the game will be fun. I want it to be fun because I want a decent single player game to play. You know, in the Star Wars universe, no one has really gotten that in a long time, and people really want it. And I really want them to do good with the game, but I have my doubts because it's EA, and I'm sorry that I feel that way, but that's just kind of how it is with that company right now. I just feel like it's hard to trust them. But that's my thoughts on that. When we see more about the gameplay and stuff like that, we'll talk about it more about the actual game. But there really isn't much to talk about right now. Besides, they say there's going to be no multiplayer and no microtransactions, which I hope that is the case. I really do, because I want the game to be good. But moving on, and what we'll be wrapping up the show with. So the Nintendo Switch, which I used to own one, I don't anymore, has announced that they are making a VR. The Nintendo Labo VR. And I believe they'll have a $40 version. Shut up, ad. They have a $40 version, I believe, and a $80 version. The $80 version comes with a... So, people who don't know about the Labo stuff, it's pretty much cardboard. Yeah, it's cardboard stuff that you put together for your Switch. I believe they had like a docking station or something. But it's cardboard stuff you put together for your Switch, and they're going to try to push this into a VR thing. So you get the headset, you put the cardboard together, you slide your Switch into it, and then you put the Joy-Cons on the side. And some of this stuff you don't. Like the $80 version, it comes with like a camera, so you can like put the Joy-Con on the lens and like turn the end thing. You have like a game where you could take pictures. Like they had a blaster gun where you put like one of the Joy-Cons in the end of the gun, and you actually have like a thing with like rubber bands and stuff. So whenever you cock the gun, it like feels like more realistic. They had like a bird thing where you like make this bird out of cardboard, put it on the end, and you could fly around through these rings and stuff. They had an elephant, I believe that was for the painting and stuff like they had. But it's my thoughts on it. It seems you had an elephant. His name Stampy. It seems cool. I think it's kind of weird. They're essentially selling people cardboard. I heard it's a very lengthy process to put all this stuff together. So if you do want to get one, the video I watched, they said it took them around 9 hours to get everything together. So the games that come with it look cool. But my thing is, how far are they going to be able to take this? Because they're going to put out, like, I believe 3 or 4 special levels for Mario Odyssey that you use specifically with the VR. My thing is, it looks Like, it's weird. Okay, they're gonna make the 3 or 4 levels in Zelda Breath of the Wild is supposed to be fully playable in this headset, but like these game, like the 4 levels in Breath of the Wild are still gonna be in third person, but you know, essentially you're just playing the same game just up to your, which you have to hold to your face. It does not have a strap. It has no way for you to mount it to your head. You have to hold it. It looks like a fun thing. Hold on. As an Suicide says, as an industry insider, I can't recommend the Labo. Like typical Nintendo, it's disposable fun. And see, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it's like, it looks fun, but is it worth spending like $80 for essentially cardboard? Sure, it's a very budget friendly VR, but how much are you actually going to get out of this? You're going to get your few you know, games that usually come with stuff like this, like they usually come, like they came with the Wii and stuff, that are fun, but how much fun are you going to be able to get out of it in the long run is my thing. And how are they actually going to make it worth your while in the long run to own this? It's kind of my thing. Like, you can't just have, you know, you can't just hold the Joy-Cons and have like the thing around your head, because from what I've heard, the actual Switch screen has no like tracking, so that would not work at all. A lot of people are saying that maybe with the release of the more powerful Switch that they're supposed to be coming out with, maybe they could add it into that and make VR a little more, you know, can't think of the word, but better in a sense, with, you know, it being able to track your head, and maybe you could actually hold the Joy-Cons, and you know, they could make like Breath of the Wild fully, you know, first person, and you could go out there and actually swing your sword and stuff like that. I think that's the only way that this actually succeeds in the long run, because I don't think many people are going to buy this, and I think it's going to be kind of a failure. And break your sword. Yes, you can break your sword in Breath of the Wild, but I think it looks fun, but as of right now, there isn't enough to it that I could say, this looks awesome, go spend your money on it. I don't think anybody should really go buy it at this point, in my personal opinion. If you want to, that is completely, you're right, and I hope you have fun with it. But I personally don't think it's worth it right now. But as for the podcast, I think this is where we're going to wrap it up today, guys. If there is any topics that you would like us to go over on next week's podcast, make sure you join the Discord at ManVersusRage. That's VERSUS, not VS. Join the Discord, and you can go post in our podcast topics page and let me know what you want me to talk about next week. But this has been episode 2 of the ManVersusGaming podcast. You catch us on Tuesday mornings at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're doing it every week. The channel is twitch.tv/ManVersusRage. That is ManVersusRage. I hope to see you here, guys. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and we will see you guys next week. Later.